What is going on, everybody? E-Rock here, bringing you guys a brand new video. Hopefully you're all having a great day today. Today's video, I wanted to give some of you a few tips when it comes to ranked play in Apex Legends. I know some of you are in gold and trying to get to plat or trying to get through plat to diamond. So I just had a few tips today that might help you when you are, just making your way through. So if you enjoy the video, enjoy the tips, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any more questions, come on over to the streams. Twitch.tv/erock or anywhere else that are on my socials. Just make sure you follow that. Everything's in the description box for you. So I'm going to give a few tips here. Hopefully they do help. Number one tip we are starting out with is the types of legends and the comp style you are playing. Now, in this specific season, we are on Olympus, and it is a little bit different. It used to be like a Revtane sort of map, but now with different changes that have come through to the game, different legends being added, I strongly feel that you should be using any sort of combination of these 6 legends. Definitely Wraith is always in the picture still. Valkyrie, Ashe is a great addition to the game as far as being in the meta. Gibby and Bloodhound are still in the meta as always, and potentially maybe Crypto. I will throw in an alternate. This might be a little bit out of the ordinary, but if you have a really good Fuse player, I'm going to throw Fuse into this too. Just if you like a really cracked out Fuse player can really make or break the way they use clusters, grenades, and the alt he has now isn't completely terrible. Either way, having a movement character such as Wraith or Valk or Ashe is super needed on a map like Olympus. Wraith's portals are always there and always to help you. Valkyrie, you get a free rotation if you get third-partied, or if you want to get out of an area very quickly, or if you have like such a long rotation and you just want to get out of an area. Valk is a huge addition to the game that will help you. And obviously Ashe, having the tether to like pin people down, having a free portal to rotate, even though it's one wade, it's super useful, and it's definitely something you guys should try using. As far as Gibby and Bloodhound, Gibby's always going to be in the meta. You don't need to have Gibby, but certainly if you want to rank up, get to endgame and win endgame fights, always having a bubble there, having his airstrike is super powerful. As far as Bloodhound is always going to help you with the scans, beacons, everything. Having a support character like Bloodhound in the game is going to help you, and it also plays in a tie with Crypto. If you have a good Crypto player, it's the same thing. Having those scans, having those, having his new abilities, it's all going to help you. You can even throw Seer in there, I guess, but I definitely recommend these legends to be used. If you're using someone like Lifeline, Rampart, Caustic isn't a good player for Olympus. Caustic is more of like a World's Edge player, or sometimes even King's Canyon. But in this specific meta on Olympus, you got to use one of these sort of characters. Point taken here. Number 2 is that you have to understand that ranked point changes have been changed and updated in this season. You get less points for kills and everything now, and it's based more on rotation. Kills are not as important as they were last season. You have to take the right fight in the right areas. I highly suggest trying to get kill points early on in the game, because this new sort of ranked change makes it so if you have some sort of kill points and get into late game, that's where you're going to get the most points. You could have 10th, you could be in 10th place with kill points, and it's different than having like 3 kills in top 3. So it's definitely a different sort of way you have to play in this season. And what I have been trying to recommend people to do is try and get your points early on, rotate to middle zone, and then trying to play for zone after there, because from there you might get an assist or another kill here and there. But if you can get a squad wipe off the rip and then rotate into zone, those are your best ways to get more points and rank up quicker in this specific split. Tip number 3 here is I would try, I know this is like hard to do, but I would try to stay out of the middle portion of this map. The middle portion of this map of Olympus, you're going to get so many third parties and fourth parties and fifth parties. So like landing around the residential area or labs or anything like that, it's going to cause so much more damage than you think. Yeah, you might be able to get 4 or 5 kills right off the rip, but you're going to have to fight zombie hordes of opponents with all the third parties and everything. I highly suggest trying to land somewhere on the outskirts of the map, but I will talk about like drop zone, drop places later on in the video. But if you have to go through the center of the map, this is where your rotational characters are going to be needed. Wraith, Valk, getting to a balloon, Ash, any of these characters, I would try to get through the map as quickly as possible. If you have to fight in the middle of the map somewhere in these areas, I highly suggest trying to get out within 30 seconds. If you can eliminate a squad within 30 seconds, that's good, but then get out. If it lasts more than that, that's when you're really going to have to try and back out, reposition, fly out of there, Ash Portal out of there, Wraith Q out of there, get yourself out of that position after 30 or more seconds. It's going to really prevent third partying. And but if you're forced in the middle of the map, and that's where zone is, just try and get into the middle area of it and do your best to hold your position from there. So next, I will talk about drop spots. The drop spot in this specific map and split can really make or break your whole game. If you're on Storm Point or something, the map is so spread out to where you don't have to worry about this too much. But a map like Olympus, where people may be avoiding the center areas as much, you're going to be contested. You should try and avoid drops with multiple teams. Again, if you're a crackhead that just wants to land residential or any of the super high priority area places where 3 or 4 teams land, then go for it. But at that point, you got to stop complaining if you're not leveling up. You got to play smart. I highly suggest trying your best to watch the dropship and land where other teams aren't as contested. I would say 1 team max is where you should try and land, because you can try and get that easy KP early and then rotate into zone and play placement from there. If you're landing on multiple teams at once, it's only going to cause more problems than good. I would say maybe one out of 5 games or so you'll wipe maybe 2 squads or something. But if you're fighting with that many teams off spawn, or if you're trying to compete with the loot in one area with 3 or 4 other teams, it's just going to hurt yourself. So try and watch the jump strip, land where you're only contesting maybe 1 other team, and go from there. It's only going to help you in the long run. And finally, this is one that everyone complains about, but you solo queue players out there, if you are solo queuing and complaining that your teammates are this and your teammates are that, everyone's just got to try a little bit more. Everyone, you must use a mic. Okay, if you're solo queuing and you're complaining about this and that happening and you're not using your microphone, that's on you. Apex is a team-based game. You need to communicate your pushes, every little thing you do, focusing on the same player at once, focusing on the same rotation as once. Communication and talking is the most important. You can have the worst gun skill, but if you have good communication, at least you're helping out the other 2 players you're with. So if it's hard for you to find players, hey, maybe you're solo queuing and you find that one person that does decent with you. Invite them to your game. At least you got 2 people with mics then, and you're just moving on. You gotta put in the effort. You gotta try. Communication is the most important part of this game when leveling up. You can get to gold with just solo queuing, not talking to anybody, in my opinion. I honestly think anybody can get to plat and almost diamond in this game. You just got to talk, and then you start running with the same players, find more people to talk to, find more people to play with, and it's only going to help you from there. So from here on out, those are my tips for ranked, when it's going to help you to get through those platinum lobbies and into diamond, or maybe this will help you get from gold to plat. You really just have to put in the extra effort to talk, communicate, use the right players, play the game the right way. This isn't a pub, remember. You can't just run around and push everyone. You have to be smart with knowing when to push, when to get out of fights. You have to use your brain a little bit. This isn't Call of Duty. This isn't Fortnite. Oh, maybe Fortnite is a little bit of a bad comparison, because you got to be pretty smart in Fortnite. But you see, people, you just got to use your brain a little bit more. These are my tips. If you don't like them, I'm sorry. But that's just what helps me get into at least diamond each season. So hopefully it helps. If it did, leave a like on the video. It's the best way to let me know. Comment down below. And that is going to be it for me. So thank you guys for all the constant support on this channel, and we'll see whoever is here in the next one.